nothing says hockey season like October. I don't know about you, but Blues have their home opener right around the corner.
Well, we're in the middle of Hot-tober. Apparently, Mother Nature didn't get the memo that we should be in sweater weather, both my turtleneck and roll neck and hockey sweater weather.
That's also a Weezer song, isn't it?
If you want to destroy my sweater.
Exactly.
Absolutely. We could talk Weezer. We could, I might have sang a few Weezer songs at a gig.
Say it ain't so.
It's tougher than it sounds. It's tougher than it sounds. It's hockey season. It's buy me an island season if you're Kirill Kaprizov.
Oh my gosh. Right. A really nice island on top of it.
It's buy me an island. It's we posted on our Instagram hot take at Too Many Men Podcast to the word to TWO. Give us a follow, give us a like, give us a shout, right, Grant?
Please do.
Yes, thank you.
It's in my contract too, apparently.
But yeah, I was given the thought process of if I had $16 million as a hockey parent, what would I do?
You have some really good sticks.
I tell you what, I would just have like I'd build a bat cave, and then like you press a button, it's just another stick.
Look, I hope the contract ages well because I did the math, and math always wins. And
it's undefeated.
The last year of that contract, he is going to be 36. So I got my fingers crossed, and that he's going to be tearing it up at age 36.
Well, I mean, we've got some precedent here recently with the Rat down in Florida, a little Marshy.
Yeah, and we just signed Fowler and re-upped for him, and he's probably going to be 36 when he's in the last year of that contract. So it can happen.
Yeah, I mean we're definitely a youth hockey podcast, and we're going to be talking. We've got a great show, and if you know the song that we introed to, it has a little bit to do with Pensacola. So hot take for all of you that didn't read my email on our guest today, but. Just to tie a bow on the Kaprizov deal. I mean, it's a $16 million annual contract or is it? Yeah, $16 million. And the cap when it kicks in, it's going to be around 104, 105. So that's about 16% of the total cap. But I did my research because we keep receipts here. And the next closest player on that team is at 8.7 million. So you got a big old gap. And, like you said, what can you build around them? And, does this make Minnesota a better destination next year when the free agent pool is supposed to be super, super deep? So we'll see. I can tell you right now, Monday, there's no more 8-year deals. They changed the rules. So no more 8-year deals. So I think Connor McDavid, if he stays, it's probably a 3 or 4 year deal.
Speaking of guys that are available next offseason.
Yeah, talk about it, right? But and then a hometown favorite here, Mikko Mikkola, just got an 8-year deal. I think it was $4 or $5 million a year.
I mean, all it took was him going to the Rangers and then to Florida to find his lane. But no, he got a big goal. I remember. I think it was in the semis on the last playoff run. So good for Mikkola.
It's a good team deal, and this speaks to hockey in general, right? I mean, he was really good with the Blues. I think there was a path forward for him with the Blues, but you go to a team like Florida where you're entrenched at that number 2 pair, can play first pair minutes, but entrenched at that number 2 pair. But then you look at like the rest of the team. It's never easy to play any professional sport. But it's a lot easier to be a defenseman on that team with Bobrovsky behind you and those forwards in front of you. And I think congratulations to Mikko. And, I think it's a really cool contract. And see what I did there? We moved to the state of Florida.
That was a great segue.
And we started off with a song that had Pensacola in the name. So, why don't you let the listeners out there know about what's going on?
Yeah, without further ado, we have Carlos Villa, the coach-in-chief of the Pensacola Junior Ice Flyers, telling us all the great things that are happening down with youth hockey in the Panhandle. So, Carlos, welcome to the show. Too Many Men on the Mic. And how are you today?
Good, my friends. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. We're fantastic. I know you get balmy, sunny weather down there on a frequent basis. You may have heard Jared say at the top of the hour that we're having balmy mid 80s to high 80s temperatures in October, which is a little unusual. Around this time of year, we're cooling off, but
absolutely.
But you've got sun and heat down there pretty consistently, right?
Consistently, yes, I would say so. And don't get me wrong, that the Panhandle is not near a lot as it is, down in Fort Lauderdale where the Panthers are, but it does remain pretty great weather, I would say. And originally, I'm from Connecticut originally, so I grew up with the winters and having the cold weather, and then I went to college in Vermont, so I really got the cold winters. So I'd be happy if I never saw snow again, which, funny enough, we had about 10 inches of snow last year. So, it seemed to follow me down here.
So okay. If you listen to the show, or if you listen to any of our on demand, we always finish with the Brass Bonanza. When you were in Connecticut, were you at the tail end of the Whale being there? Are you a Whale fan, or were you a Bees fan?
So actually, funny enough, I'm actually a New Jersey Devil fan. My father grew up in Jersey City, and we are diehard Devil fans. I'm all about it. We're fired up about Luke Hughes, big contract the other day.
That's right.
For the
That's right.
Brothers. Hopefully we pick up Quinn. Maybe make something happen. Get Dougie Hamilton out of there. I'm not a huge Dougie Hamilton fan, but we'll save that for another time.
We could. I think we could have a good time talking, and we've got some great questions for you lined up here for sure. But yeah, that's interesting. So you're a Devils fan by way of Connecticut in the Panhandle. Navy,
yes.
And big Navy. You're by the flight station, right?
Oh yeah, the Blue Angels.
Yeah, that's right. Right. So, well, thanks again for joining us today. I think Drew's got we did some pre-show. We do our homework here, and so I know Drew's going to kick us off here. But again, thanks for joining us today, and I think we're going to have some great insight and perspectives for our listeners.
Yeah, Carlos.
Yeah,
so
absolutely, guys.
Yeah, tell us about Pensacola Junior Ice Flyers Youth Hockey. Tell us a little bit about the organization. How many teams are in your organization, from 6U all the way up to 18U, and is it girls and boys?
Yeah, so it's girls and boys. We got 6U all the way up to 18U. Most of our teams here are pretty much house teams. We do have some travel teams. We have this year we have two 12U travel teams. We have a 14U travel team. We have a 10U travel team. And then we also have 6U house, 8U house, 10U house, 12, 14, 16, and 18U, all house teams. And those house teams, we do go, we shoot to compete in about 3 to 4 tournaments a year. I know I am speaking, for my team. I actually am the head coach of the 8U team as well. I actually convinced my father to do it with me. My parents moved down here in 2021, and then I followed them in 23. So I convinced my dad last year. I said, "Hey, let's just go coach. Let's do it together." And we started coaching the 8U team together. And we try to shoot for about 3 to 4 tournaments. We got some great tournaments lined up this year, and we're growing. We're a really growing organization. Unfortunately, we're a little handicapped in terms of ice time, as ice is hard to come by in Pensacola. We're trying to find a way to build a full-time ice facility here. It's a little bit difficult. We're trying to find a way to get it done. But right now we play out of the Bay Center, the Pensacola Bay Center, which is where the big Ice Flyers, the SPHL team, the Ice Flyers play out of. So we share that ice facility with them. We're a growing organization, and this is my first year in the coach in chief spot. So I'm looking forward to helping the organization as much as I can. I'm a young guy. I plan on being here for a long time, so I'm going to try to help the organization grow as much as possible.
Well, Jared, I got to dig into this for just a second. You got dad and son dynamic coaching together. So, Carlos, what happens there? I mean, do you have a great practice plan ready for your teams, and then your dad looks at it and goes, "We're not doing that"?
Well, so it's funny enough. I kind of went to him last year. I said, "Hey, I think this would be a lot of fun. I think we should do it." And I played hockey for a long time, and my dad, growing up in Jersey City, he didn't play a lot of organized hockey, but he was on skates at times. And so he's not a he's not the best skater, but he's like, listen, I'll just go out there and you kind of just direct me on what we're doing. And, I'll do my best. But he does a great job with the kids. The kids love him, and he has an absolute blast doing it. But it definitely once in a while we'll talk about practice plans and what we want to do, and maybe we'll have some disagreements here or there. But other than that, it's honestly so much fun. It's such a blast to get to do it with him and get to do something together. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a blast.
I mean, you get to be out there on a sheet of ice with a bunch of 8-year-olds and your dad. And I imagine that your dad probably communicates very well with the 8-year-olds if he's anything like my dad, which is, they just seem to have a, especially if he's a grandfather like my dad is, they just seem to have that appreciation and love. And I think that's got to be a huge help for you. As we look here, it looks like you guys have about 12 teams total. So probably anywhere from 120 to 150 skaters in your organization.
Yeah, give or take there. And like I said, we're actually growing in numbers each year. And unfortunately, we have a learn to play program that we also do. And right now we have a lot of people on the wait list, a lot of people trying to get in and get signed up to do it. But with the restriction on ice time, it's tough to get every kid in. So there are kids, unfortunately, that we're having to turn away and have them try again next year because we're so handicapped in terms of ice time. The game has really grown in the South, like big time. It really has grown a lot. People are interested in hockey. The Ice Flyers are selling out all the time. And surprisingly enough, I mean, last year they struggled. The pro team, I'm saying, they struggled a lot, and they still were selling out. And people enjoy the game, and a lot of people are moving down here. I mean, Florida is rapidly growing. We have a lot of people moving from the Northeast, and people want to play hockey, and they're looking for hockey. So it's really growing. So I'm really hoping that the more exposure to the program, the bigger the program gets, we can finally convince the city and convince the county that a rink is necessary. This is what we need.
There's a lot of threads to pull on there, and I'm glad that we did our pre-flight here on the show. Real quick, if you're going down that path on the rink, Drew and I have some experience doing that here in the St. Louis area, and we actually know some folks who have built rinks in Florida that are located here in St. Louis. So we could take that offline, but I want to make sure jot that down so that we don't forget about it, because when I hear that you've got one facility, you're turning kids away, I know that's got to be so hard for you as a coach and for the parents. You're playing on base, and I got to imagine that there's a pretty fair number of transplant families, with different service member, stationed on rotation. Do you get a lot of support from the base? Do you get a lot of members who are, like you said, transplants with the military? Is there any type of relationship there, and maybe an appetite to grow that existing facility?
So there isn't much relationship with the base. The rink itself, the base center, is actually located off base. It's actually located right in downtown Pensacola. And the Ice Flyers itself, it doesn't have too much relation to the military and to the obviously the team name is named after the Blue Angels. I mean, Blue Angel Night, and we do a lot of support with those guys. But we do get a lot of military families, military members that are stationed down here or working down here, that they will sign their kids up from hockey, and then unfortunately they get moved off and they have to go do something else, and they do move. And that is unfortunate because I've had the experience even last year. I met a ton of great people, great dads, great coaches, great kids. And, they had to move and they had to go elsewhere. So it does, unfortunately stink. But let me tell you, every single one of them that I talked to said we all want to come back. And that's one thing about, Pensacola and about, being down here and the organization, they love it and people are happy. And like I said, it's growing. So people want to come back here once they wrap up duty and wrap up, whatever contract they're serving. And they eventually want to come back to Pensacola. So like I said, it's a growing place. It's a beautiful place. And, the game is rapidly growing. We have a street hockey rink that's literally right on the sand down at the beach. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Pensacola Beach. By far the most beautiful beach in the country. It's gorgeous.
Humble brag.
Right on the beach.
Humble brag.
Not a big deal.
Humble brag.
You know,
MBD.
not a big deal. It's unbelievable. Let me tell you. You come to this beach. My friends make jokes all the time because I used to say you're swimming with dolphins, and that's no exaggeration. You're literally swimming with dolphins.
I mean, I don't know.
It's unbelievable.
Jersey Shore may have something to say about all that.
Let me tell you, I've been to the Jersey Shore. The Jersey Shore can't compete. Let me
or
tell you
Siesta
something, all right?
Siesta Key. I don't know. Siesta Key's not too.
I don't know.
Uh,
Let me tell you, I rank right up there with them.
Well, you mentioned street hockey, and that actually was going to lead into my kind of a follow up there. You know, Drew and I, if you've listened to the show, and if you haven't, then get with the program, Carlos. Get on the show. We were a part of a youth hockey organization on the board, not just as coaches, for the better part of a decade. And ice is a challenge in so many markets, even traditional markets like St. Louis. And what we were doing is we were having street hockey, ball hockey, floor hockey, and there's opportunities to partner with schools to help grow the game. I was actually listening to a show today on Sirius XM where they were talking about the NFL is introducing flag football, and it's probably going to be a freaking professional flag football league. And, and they see it as, they see it as just building their own fan base. My question is, the NHL is kind of in and out when it comes to the non-ice hockey. But do you also have any, connection relationships with the Lightning or with the Panthers? The NHL is also trying to build their fan base, and I think they might be trying to get a team in Houston or a team in Atlanta, and Pensacola is not too far from either of those cities if you look at a map. So, do you have those type of relationships, and what other things, aside from the street hockey or even roller hockey, are you guys trying to do to get kids out there with a stick in hand and learning the game?
Well, yeah. So, since I've been with the organization, we haven't done anything in particular with the Panthers or the Lightning. Tampa's about 6.5 hours from Pensacola, and Fort Lauderdale you're looking at about 10.5, maybe even 12 in some cases. It's a bit of a ride. Florida's a big state, so we haven't had any real opportunity to do a lot with them. I'd love to do stuff with them. I think, like I said, we're a very young organization. We got a great board this year. Our president, vice president, we have a great group. And I think, our board as a whole, as a group, really wants to develop the kids, develop the organization, and grow the organization long term. So I think, that may be something we explore down the road. We're trying to do more with the SPHL team that's here, the Ice Flyers. We're trying to do more with those guys. And as far as, trying to get, sticks in people's hands, I know that the beach, like I said, the roller rink down at the beach has its own league now. They have a ball hockey league and a roller hockey league that they have consistent people playing every Sunday. They play a lot on Sunday mornings. They do clinics for the kids over the summer where they have roller hockey clinics, street hockey clinics down at the beach. So, there's a lot of opportunity. And I think that, hopefully, like I keep going back to it, but hopefully with the creation of a rink, I think that will really blossom and really open up the opportunity to hold, summer camps, hold, birthday parties where people could go ice skate and be like, wow, I really like this. This is something I want to continue to do. I want to try skating. I want to try playing hockey. I think little things like that make such a big difference. And, hopefully, the creation of the rink will really grow it and grow the league even more and grow the love of the game even more, because it really is the best game in the world, without a doubt.
Sounds like you've got some incredible demand down there. That is just awesome. And, no surprise. Look at the last handful of years of Stanley Cup winners. I mean, it's been driving a lot of excitement for the game. I guess I want to come back to coaching real quick, Carlos. You said you're a young organization, and it sounds like you're newer to the organization too. How did you become the coach in chief of the organization down there?
Well, that's actually a funny story. So, like I said, I joined the league last year, to coach the 8U team. I volunteered. I'm only 25. And I just moved down here in 2023. And, I joined the league in 2024-2025 season to coach. And then I get a call on July 4th on Independence Day. And, I'm having a good time. The drinks are flowing. Everybody's happy. And I get a call, and basically the summary of the call was, listen, we need you to do this. And we need you to sign up and do this. We need somebody to take this position on, and we'll help you out, and we'll give you guidance. And Lindsay, who's our registrar, she's phenomenal, and she's the one I worked really close with last year on getting a lot of things done for the league. And she called me and she's like, listen, we need you to do it. And when Lindsay said, we need you to do it, I looked at my dad, and he's like, my dad was actually president of Little League back when we were growing up in Connecticut. And he's like, you're going to get a lot of phone calls. He's like, good luck. Like, you're going to get a lot of phone calls. Yeah. And, but I signed up, and it's been tough, but it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, we have a wonderful board. We have a great group, who's all, we all have the same objective to growing the league and getting everybody in great shape and really growing the organization. So I think we got a lot of great things coming down the road that I think will really help, hockey in the Panhandle. We're trying to get a league down here, trying to get consistent travel games. It's, like I said, ice is tough to come by, but I think the more ice sheets we get down here, the bigger the league will grow, because hockey is here to stay. So I'm excited about it.
Well, Drew and I can definitely help you on some tips and tactics to overcome the slings and arrows of parents. And really, that's what we started this show for, was really to boost the positivity and kind of tone out a lot of the negatives that just go along with youth sports in general. And your dad is a huge testament to that. Do you have time to stick around? I know we're on for an hour. We're having a great conversation. I think there's a few more topics we'd love to chat with you about. And we got to pay a couple bills here with a quick break, but do you have time to stick around and share some time with us?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely, guys. I'd love to be here.
Well, that segment of Too Many Men on the Mic was brought to you by 5B Designs. St. Louis hockey families and business leaders, if you need custom gear that stands out and stands for something, it's time to meet 5B Designs. Founded by Shannon Brahini, a proud St. Louis mom and entrepreneur, 5B Designs is a woman-owned small business that brings purpose to custom apparel. Whether you're suiting up your youth or high school hockey team or leveling up your company's branded swag, 5B delivers top-notch quality with a personal touch. You need a team store? No problem. Corporate polos or event giveaways, they got you covered. 5B makes it easy with fast turnaround, flexible service, and designs your players or employees will love to wear. Check them out at stores.inksoft.com/5B Designs. That's the word 5, and see what purpose-driven apparel looks like.
The Lou Information Station, a whole new way to enjoy content, created just for those of us in the St. Louis area. It's a whole new way to advertise and promote your business. Reach out and find out just how different we are. If you're tired of one-sided advertising offerings, or your traditional media rep trying to shove digital marketing down your throat, visit louinfo.com and click on advertising. Or email partnerships@louinfo.com for more information.
When you're building something new, you need a partner you can count on. I'm Big Toe Media founder Dave Green, and with our company, we didn't want just another bank. We wanted people who understood what we were trying to create and who were there for us every step of the way. That's why we chose Home Bank. From business lending to everyday banking, Home Bank has been much more than a bank. They're the kind of people who answer the phone, know your name, and believe in your vision. Home Bank doesn't just support our growth, they share in it. They take pride in helping local businesses succeed because they know when we win, the whole community wins. Business isn't just about numbers, it's about relationships. And with Home Bank, those relationships make all the difference. Home Bank is the team behind our team. Visit myhomebank.bank or call 855-577-2001. Home Bank, member FDIC, more than a bank. They're your business partner.
LouInfo.com news headlines. Brought to you by Brown and Crouppen, 222-2222.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. A bicyclist killed by a hit-and-run driver Wednesday night in South St. Louis. He was hit on Winnebago Street and Ohio Avenue. A woman killed overnight after being struck by a vehicle on I-70 in North St. Louis. Police saying it happened at about 5:30 in the morning westbound I-70 near Adelaide. A 46-year-old woman in custody after shooting another woman Wednesday afternoon in St. Louis City's Hyde Park neighborhood, North 20th Street, just south of Ferry. The 31-year-old victim is in critical condition. Washington University is eliminating 514 positions, including 316 staff layoffs and the closure of 198 open and vacant jobs. across its main Danforth and medical campuses. State Highway Patrol troopers made 84 arrests during an enforcement event Wednesday on St. Louis highways. The 2025 Muscular Dystrophy Association Show of Strength Sunday, raising more than $195,000 to help people living with for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com. I'm Peter Killeen.
Now, louinfo.com weather. Presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports. Anytime, anywhere.
Hey, your louinfo.com weather update. Lots of sunshine today. A high this afternoon climbing into the upper 80s. A slight chance of a shower or two tonight. And overnight low mid to upper 60s. Friday, a bounty of sunshine. A high into the upper 80s. Will be in the mid to upper 80s Saturday. And highs close to the 90-degree mark with sunshine on Sunday. Monday, a hint of a shower or storm or two. A high right around 85. I'm meteorologist Sally Russell for the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey, Kat, summer's winding down, but I keep thinking, my backyard is weak, man. I need a pool and maybe even a fire pit.
Cam, you know who can handle that? Merrimack Pools and Outdoors. They're a family-owned St. Louis company, been doing this for 25 years.
They do more than just pools, right?
Oh, yeah. Patios, outdoor kitchens, sport courts, fire features, the whole outdoor package. They'll design it, build it, and make it look amazing.
That sounds like trouble for my neighbors when I start hosting barbecues with the boys.
Exactly. And here's the best part. Free consultations, smart pool features like LED lighting and spa integration, financing options, and they back it all with a lifetime manufacturer warranty.
That's legit. And you know I like local. They're licensed, insured, bonded, and based right here in St. Louis.
If you want the ultimate backyard, head to SplashSTL.com.
Hit up SplashSTL.com for more information and receive a free salt cell included in your package. A $2,000 value. SplashSTL.com.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. That's 800-891-6335.
Don't have thumping bass in every other second.
We're building his catalog song by song. We're going to get him up to speed.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And on the ice.
Thank
We're going to
you.
get him on the ice. Tune in at Too Many Men on the Mic at some point in the future. to
When
see
I'm
Grant
open
on the
for
ice.
it. I am open for it.
Well,
I'm ready.
He's going to be on a hockey podcast. He's got to get on the ice.
100.
There you go.
100%. See, you're getting
Love it,
You're
Carlos.
getting chirped.
Love it.
You're getting chirped from almost 2,000 miles away, Grant.
Well, I'm an athlete. I can do it.
Can't have that.
Oh.
I think I could shoot if I was stationary. With the skates on though, I don't think so.
I'm sure there's some girl out there that would be like, man, he looks good on skates, right?
All right, we're get
Let's
some
move
hockey.
on.
Get some hockey flow going.
Wasn't it Bravo that said? I think they said hockey was the sexiest sport, right? Bravo. That's the sport. Andy Cohen.
No comment there. My sexy days in hockey are long behind me.
Well, before we get back into some more talk with Carlos Villa from the Pensacola Junior Ice Flyers, this segment of Too Many Men on the Mic is brought to you by Big Bear Tournaments, your go-to for unforgettable youth hockey travel experiences. We bring the highest level and best competitive experience for all age groups, longer periods, incredible destinations, and some of the best championship awards you can find. With hockey season officially underway, Big Bear Tournaments has you covered for all your tournament needs, whether it's local or out of town. Speaking of out of town, they have one spot left at 10UB in Indianapolis the weekend of October 17th. Register your team between now and this Sunday, and your entry fee will be half off. Looking for games past October? Join them November 7th through 9th in Oxford, Jacksonville, Grand Rapids, Appleton, or Knoxville. Space is limited, and mention our show after registering for huge savings. Registration and more info can be found at bigbeartournaments.com.
So Carlos, we were kind of transitioning into some of the coaching aspects, and one of the questions that I had is, you're there in Pensacola, you have your organization, do you guys roll into Florida amateur hockey? What is your governing, local district, and how does that, how much interaction and how much support are you guys getting on that level, as well as from USA Hockey?
Yeah. So, our travel teams, they play in a league that's called the SYTHL, and that is the league that our travel teams are a part of. Our house teams were part of the Northwest Florida Hockey League. Now, as far as the ins and outs of that league, I don't know too much about it. I know for the most part, our house organizations and our house teams really go and participate in tournaments. That's kind of their game plan, and we usually try to shoot for 3 to 4 tournaments a year. Last year we had a fantastic time at the Country Western Showdown in Nashville. That was a unbelievable tournament. Well put together, well done. We had a great time. We did the Huntsville tournament, the Bob O'Gorman tournament in Huntsville. That was another great tournament. We had a great time at the Jacksonville tournament. That was a good one. We did one in Jacksonville. Beautiful facility. The tournament, that was a great time as well. So, there was, we did a couple different tournaments, and this is, of course, speaking on behalf of AU, but, our teams, we try to get them in and get them as much game action as we can. We do some friendly games, is what they call them, friendly games, like basically like soccer. We do it. There's a team in Biloxi, Mississippi, that we partner with, and we do some games with them. We're trying to get involved with the Lafayette, Louisiana organization, do some stuff with Lafayette. There's another organization in Louisiana we're trying to get a part of. So we're doing our best to, try to put together a competent league, with 4 or 5 teams and just, have some consistent game action for the kids. Because I really think that that's so beneficial in terms of their development, is not just only, practicing all the time, which is great, but also being put in that game situation where you're having to make game time decisions, and that also helps the development of the player. So I think trying to get as many games as we possibly can for each team, I think is huge. So we're like I said, we're trying to put together a little bit of a league down here, and then tournaments are a massive part of these kids' ability to play.
Well, it sounds like it, and kudos to you for taking that initiative. I guess back to the USA Hockey piece and tying this back into coaching a little bit. Do you guys follow the ADM model down there? And are you do you strictly adhere to it? Do you deviate from it? Can you talk a little bit about that with practice planning and then how you execute your practices?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we try to follow the ADM model as much as possible. I think there's a couple of things. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people agree. There are a couple of things that USA Hockey wants us to do and has strong feelings about that I, necessarily don't always agree with. Hitting at an older age is one of them. And then, now you have the kids playing 4-on-4. It's a small area. Smaller area games. I do see the vision behind the small area games, and we do that for the most part, especially with the younger kids. You know, we do a lot of 4-on-4 work. What's interesting in the tournaments for the 8U kids, and I just have the most experience with them from last year. You know, they had the 4-on-4 in the zone tournament, and I think it was about a minute and a half. They would you know, hit the buzzer and they would change lines. And it was a successful model. I think the way that they put it together, I thought it worked really well. And so I do see the vision behind that, but there are certain things obviously that, you know, USA Hockey wants us to move towards rather than other things. And the one thing I will say that we're really trying to work and focus a lot on, which USA Hockey pushes a lot, is the skating aspect. Because I think you know, with the way that the skating is now, and skating, you know, you could see it in the NHL from just the year 2008 to the year 2018, just 10 years, the skating and the ability of the skating of the players in the league has grown so much. And they're such better skaters than they were, you know, in the early 2000s, where, you know, we really have to make sure that the kids, in order for them to properly develop and play the game, they have to be able to skate really well. And so that's one thing that I'm really trying to hem in on and work with all the coaches in the organization and say, hey, listen, like, we have to, you know, focus on developing our players so that way, you know, they're able to skate so well, and that helps them being able to compete in a game. They have to be able to skate. So, you know, that's one of the things that we're really trying to focus on this season is really development of skating, making sure they're able to stop on both feet, do a proper hockey stop, be able to transition from forwards to backwards, you know, things like that will help them in the long run for their games. Just the simple things, I think, is the most important thing that we're really trying to focus on as an organization.
I think you're on the right track. You know, hockey aside, unless you're playing polo or water polo, is like one of the only sports you have to learn to do something else first. And it's the common denominator for every player out there. And I'm heartened to hear, you know, that you're embracing parts of the ADM, because it does make your job easier. And I think that kind of leads into the next question. You know, as coach in chief, and you've even admitted, hey, you're new to this. And I'm sure you're finding hockey's the easy part. You know, it's the coaching and leading and managing that tend to take up a lot of your time. How is the coaching pool? How are you supporting these volunteers, you know, whether they're moms, dads, brothers, you know, sisters, or folks who are like yourself are just, you know, love the game? How do you manage that? And what are some of the things that you're doing and your organization's doing to support the coaches and ultimately help these kids be successful?
Yeah. So we actually just had our coaches get together, our coaches meeting on Tuesday night. We got you know, as many of the coaches as we could, as you know, as possible. We all came to a great restaurant in Pensacola. Shout out Bubba's 33 on Davis. It was a great venue, great place. We got everybody together, had some great food, had some laughs, a little meet and greet. And, you know, I talked to them, you know, as a whole, and I said, hey, listen, guys, you know, the number one thing that I want to, you know, convey to you guys is I want us to all work together. Like, I wanted to be you know, a unison group that, you know, we can all, you know, lean on each other, ask each other for advice, you know, work with each other, and as a team, where it's not, you know, necessarily like, oh, I'm 12, you do, like, you know, talk to me, I'm working with 12 you. Like, I want it to be where we're all in this together, we all have the same mission, and we want every kid to have success. And, you know, so one of the things that I did, you know, we're creating a group chat with all the coaches, you know, a place where all the coaches can interact with each other, you know, kind of talk to each other about, hey, what are you doing that's working? Hey, you know, maybe we should try this, you know, an opportunity for them to, you know, communicate with each other, talk to each other about what's working, what's not working, what do they need from me, what could the league do better? You know, and to give them the tools that they need. And, you know, we talk about it in the board meetings all the time. You know, coaches will send us, hey, you know, I think if we purchase this product, right? And the last product we were talking about was the hockey bumpers, where you pass it and it passes it back. You know, we were talking about, oh, I think if we purchase this product, I think it will really help, you know, with the older kids getting a quick pass back. So, you know, we talked about it as a board. We said, all right, well, what do you think? Do you think this is something that we really need? And then, you know, we make a decision. But, you know, I think it's really important for me that all coaches are able to communicate with each other whenever they need to. They're able to communicate with me, whatever they need to, able to tell me, hey, listen, I think this would be really good. hey, do you mind bringing this up to the board? Because in reality, I'm really a liaison between them and then the board, and being able to, convey what they need and give that hockey operations aspect to the board. So, my biggest thing, with the coaches is open communication. Hey, whatever you need, you talk to me. I want to be there for you. I want to help each other out, and then we go from there and make a decision. But the group of coaches that we have this year is probably the best that we've had in a long time. We got a great group between parents and then volunteers. I'm really looking to try to get a lot more volunteer coaches, because I think the more people who've played hockey and have moved down here, younger people like myself and people who have a lot of hockey experience, I want to get them excited about volunteering. I want to get them excited about helping the league. And I think we're doing that. We have a lot of great volunteers, a lot of people who don't even have kids in the league that just want to help out coaching. And I'm seeing it. Like I said, I'm seeing the growth. So I think we're in great shape.
I absolutely love that. And, we actually, on our overtime segment, which is on demand only, we're going to have BJ Ringrose, who is manager of youth officiating and development for USA Hockey. And so as you're talking about the coaching pool, the other piece that I'm thinking about is, what's the reffing pool like? And are you guys, I got to imagine there's not a lot of folks to grab who are USA Hockey refs in the greater Pensacola area. I could be wrong, but are you also kind of helping to home grow your reffing pool, or how does that work?
So our reffing pool down here in Pensacola is god awful. We have, I think, one or two people who are actually registered USA Hockey refs who have the certifications. Funny enough, last year I repped a couple of 10U games alongside somebody who was registered. Like I said, I played for a really long time. I know the rules, so I was doing my best to make the best calls I could.
Mm-hmm.
When we go to tournaments, obviously we have official refs, and the refs at the tournaments are fantastic. And but as far as the friendlies that I mentioned earlier, it's tough. It's tough to get referees down here. We don't have anything in particular as an organization for referees, at least not that I'm aware of. I may be wrong, and I may get yelled at by the board next week. But as far as I'm aware, we don't have anything in particular for the refs. We do have some people, like I said, who are certified and are happy to help out. But I did have to ref a couple games myself last year, and I anticipate that I'm going to have to do the same this year. So we'll find out when we get there.
So, I mean, this is grassroots, an opportunity to not only grow youth hockey, but grow adult hockey. And I really think, aside from, the Flyers there who are in that pro league. I mean, you also have the Solar. There's other minor league hockey throughout Florida and even into Alabama. Yeah. You mentioned Huntsville, and UA Huntsville's got a as a college program. I'm so excited for what the future holds for you guys, and to be at your stage of your own hockey journey and be a part of this. My hat's off to you. I mean, you're exactly why we've built this show, and we want to be able to publicize and get as much of your good story out there for folks. So awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And being able to watch it and see it and being part of the journey, especially as a young guy, that's exciting. One of the things we talk about, Carlos, always when we're talking to associations and leaders of associations is, boy, we can talk about hockey all day long and draw up complex drills and get into the nuances. And sometimes it's easy to forget that hockey is fun, right? That's why we got into hockey right at the beginning.
Absolutely.
So what are you guys doing as an organization and as a coaching unit to make your practices fun for your players?
Well, I mean, specifically for the younger kids, and like I said, this is just the area that I have the most experience with. But for the younger kids, we have a set of a list of drills that we want to accomplish, when we go into practice. But the biggest thing for the kids, I mean, one thing that I've noticed is the kids love to be themselves, like on the ice, they have, every kid that I've worked with has their own little personality. And one thing, my dad and I, try to do, and the other coaches that are out there with me, I have a great team. That wasn't just me and my dad last year. We had an awesome group of guys that we went out there, and the kids were having a blast. And, I think one thing is we have a great group that, they're scroofy, they're young kids, and sometimes it gets a little hectic where we're trying to get them all to focus. But at the same time, it's like, I like when the kids are themselves and they're laughing and they're having fun. And, once in a while we'll let them, pass the puck out on a drill where they're doing a battle drill and they got to put the puck in between two players. I'll have one kid, put it out there, dump it in when we're doing scrimmages, have one kid shoot it in, like little things. I've noticed that the little things are the kid that really, get the kids excited being on the ice. And then, just talking to them, finding out, hey, what do you guys want to do? You guys want to, play a game? Do you guys want to do, talking to the kids, I think is the biggest thing, and finding out, what gets them excited, doing things that get them excited to be on the ice. So I think that's another thing that, my team at 8U does a great job of, and I know all the coaches in the whole organization do a great job of. But one thing I will say, every coach that we have in the organization, all the kids love every coach. I've yet to have, really somebody, come to me and really complain about a certain coach or a person. Like I see the kids interacting with the coaches, and the kids like the coaches. So we have a great team. And I think when you have a great team, and a great, board and a great group of people leading the organization flourishes. And we have that here in Pensacola. So I'm excited to continue to grow with this group. I think we have a great one.
Carlos, you are, you're exactly what I think USA Hockey and just everybody who's associated with youth hockey is looking for. And, the families and the folks down there in Pensacola are happy to have you, not only helping to grow the game, but advocating for the kids and advocating for the growth of this sport the right way. Thank you for coming on today and joining us and sharing some of your time, and really best of luck to this season. Let's make sure we do connect offline. Drew and I can broker some introductions on the rink front, because, I think that the more ice you guys get exposed to, even if it's a synthetic ice rink, which is a huge, especially in the climate you guys are in, I think would be a huge win for you as well. But the more ice time, the biggest thing is you're not going to be turning kids away, which is heartbreaking. And just like everywhere else in the non-traditional hockey markets, you guys could be a future Tampa or Carolina, or we bring in some more AHL or ECHL teams. So thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for sharing with us today. And you've made our day listening to your story. Thank you.
Thanks, Carlos.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for having me. It was an absolute blast. Hope we get to do it again soon.
Would love it.
Go Devils.
Yeah, let's go Devils.
Let's go.
It's going to be a long year for those Blue Jacket fans.
Take care. Take care, Carlos.
Have a great night, guys.
Yep.
Too.
There's a guy who's not letting perfect be the enemy of good.
I think I've heard you say that before.
Well, the fact that there's a 25-year-old, doesn't have a child in the organization, but is just down there
coaching with his dad.
I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And
somewhere Bob Mancini's smiling right now.
Well, hopefully Bob's listening to that. And that's a great segue. We are coming to the end of our live portion of the Too Many Men on the Mic show. And just like last week, we are going to kick it over into overtime and try to score a game-winning goal as we welcome in BJ Ringrose. This is a mulligan for us, as he was supposed to be on the show a couple weeks ago. And, I blame, technology.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes, Grant.
Grant.
There is an email or a text from BJ that says, "That's my bad. Couldn't get our Wi-Fi to work."
He has it in writing.
I don't know. I all I know is that Karma, here's a guy that's been working with us now since June and hasn't showed up to any of our gigs. And
you knew it was coming, Grant.
I'll help you guys out with social media. Wah, wah.
Whoa. I don't have any log. I don't have anything to help.
Well, king of the segues here. That's one more segue. If you haven't heard, check out your social media feeds and look out for Too Many Men on the Mic, as Too Many Men on the Mic, the acoustic duo, is live tomorrow night in lovely St. Charles at Chicken and Pickle from 7 to 10 p.m. We're going to play all the greats, from classics by the Beatles to Cream to the Stones to the Who to Incubus to Soundgarden, you name it. And most of it's all acoustic.
It is all acoustic. There may be even there's a couple songs Grant will know, but he won't be there.
Yeah. Could be some cool slide guitar too. I mean, I know we don't do lighters up anymore, but I'm expecting all the phones to be turned on with their screens and, the crowd is swaying left and right. But huge thank you to Chicken and Pickle, who's also a sponsor of the Mid-States High School Hockey Game of the Week, which little drip tease here. We may have some big news about scheduling next week. Not going to bury the lead, but, be sure to tune in and follow your social media, Grant.
Yeah, and Chicken and Pickle, look, if you're a team manager out there coming to St. Louis for a youth hockey tournament here in the 25-26 season, this is a perfect kind of place to bring your team between the games. Plenty of room to accommodate 50 people, kids, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters. A great place and a fun place, too, whether you want to play pickleball or not.
Well, I think, pickleball, good food, good drinks, and most importantly, better than mediocre music.
Right.
Thanks everybody for joining us today. If you're tooling around town and you're listening to AM 590, stick around for In Your City with Kelly and Gordon. They're on at 4:00 Central Time. And again, you can find us on demand at luinfo.com and go to our website, 2 Many Men on the Mic. That's the number 2 manymenonthemic.com. Scroll down, follow us on all of our social media posts. And
before you shoot, someone's commenting asking what hours you're on. 3 to 4 every Thursday.
3 to 4 every Thursday live. And then we have the OT show, which is an additional half hour to 45 minutes on demand, which you can find at 2manymenonthemic.com. That's the number 2. Scroll down to all of our on-demand feeds or search 2 Many Men on the Mic wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, hockey's more fun. The better you get at it. He shoots, he scores.
See ya.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Brown and Crouppen, we get that after an accident, money's tight. That's why we offer so much for free. First call, free. First consultation, free. Stuck at home or in the hospital, we'll come to you for free. So call Brown and Crouppen, where we don't get paid unless you do. And your first consultation is free.
Buddy.
What do you say, buddy?
Man, life comes at you fast. 1 minute you're cruising home, the next flashing lights in your rear view.
And that's when you need backup. With the Legal Buddy app, you can connect to a local attorney in seconds.
Seconds? Not waiting days for a callback?
Nope, right away. DWI, car accident, criminal charge, traffic ticket, Legal Buddy's got your back.
So it's like having a lawyer in your pocket.
Exactly. Someone ready to step in the moment you need them, no matter the situation.
That's peace of mind.
That's Legal Buddy.
We're always going to be buddies, right?
All right, where do I get this?
Just download the Legal Buddy app at LegalBuddyApp.com. Register and use code LEGAL for your chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card.
Nice. Tickets, accidents, legal trouble, you're covered.
The Legal Buddy app. Always